Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to Therapy with Miss T, where I'm Miss T and I have a message for someone. Okay, so as always, how are you all doing? I hope you are blessed, safe, and well. So, yeah, guys, this is energy, right? So, energy is fluid, it can be past, present, or future, but I get messages from the Most High, right? So, I was just sitting, and the Most High said the word to me trauma, okay? Trauma. All right. Around this time, guys, or around this week, the Most High is saying that you may start to remember things from your past. You may start to remember people, events, things that have taken place, things that may or may not have hurt you, right? Things that caused you trauma, things that caused you pain. And it's not to, in a sense, hurt you, but it's in a sense to help you to deal or cope with this trauma or this pain, right? That is sometimes why it'll be placed back on you. So, trauma is the response to a deeply distressing or disturbing event that overwhelms an individual's ability to cope, causes feelings of helplessness, diminishes their sense of self, and their ability to feel a full range of emotions and experiences, right? So there's something that may have happened in your life, traumatic, right? And this event that took place may have actually, it might have actually hurt you in a sense when it comes to feelings, right? It might have made you take your feelings out of situations. It might have made you block your feelings. It might have made you not want to feel, right? Why? Because it was traumatic. And that's life, guys, and it happens. A lot of us have been through some things that were traumatic. We've been through some things that were overwhelming. We've been through some things that caused helplessness in our life. And for some of you guys, the Most High is saying that you diminished your sense and ability to feel because of this trauma, right? And that's what happens sometimes when you've been through something so heavy, when you've been through something so traumatic, you will block off your feelings even if you don't know you're doing it, right? You will turn off your emotions even if you don't know that you're doing it. Why? Because it's a coping mechanism, because it's your safety zone, because it helps you to feel safe, right? Especially if you were a child. I'm being drawn to a child. Thank you, Spirit. So imagine like a little kid, right? This may have been something that happened in your childhood. Maybe you felt alone. Maybe you felt like no one was there to protect you. Thank you, Spirit, protection. Maybe you felt like someone didn't have your back. Maybe you were young and you were a kid and there were adults or people around that didn't save you, that didn't protect you, that weren't there with you, right? Trauma. The Most High said around this time, yes, a lot of us are going to be dealing with trauma, right? And if you're part of the collective, or if you follow me, then you're part of the collective, right? And around this time, it's not to bring it back up to hurt you, but it's to bring it back up to help you heal, okay? So it says an emotional response to a terrible event. Reactions such as shock and denial are typical, right? So sometimes you can deny that these things have happened to you. Sometimes you can be in shock that these things even took place in your life, right? Trauma. It's been traumatic. It's happened. It hurt. It didn't feel good. So there's something around this time where the Most High is saying that, yes, there's a lot of people that are dealing with trauma. And there's a lot of people that have blocked their feelings and their emotions off due to these traumatic events that have taken place in their life. And sometimes the only way to deal with it and to heal from it is to actually accept that these things took place. And it's not to hurt you. It's not to say, well, where was such, was nobody there for me? Where was God when this happened? But the Most High was there. The Most High was there. The Most High is always there, even when you were going through your trauma. But see, sometimes we forget that there's an enemy as well. We forget that the devil exists. We forget about the enemy. And it comes to kill, steal, and destroy even as a child. And that is what the enemy wants to do. It wants you to stay in that trauma. It wants you to not feel your feelings. It wants you to not accept that these things have taken place. Why? Because the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And whatever took place in your life as a child was not tactics of the Most High, but tactics of the enemy. That was not the doing of the Most High. The Most High says he wants to prosper you and give you life, not hurt you or harm you. So for someone around this time, the Most High said, yes, there's going to be some things around this time that may be placed on your spirit. And these may be some things that were trauma, right? These things were hurtful. These things were traumatic. These things hurt. And the reason why it's happening around this time is so that you can try to heal and process the things that hurt you. And it's not to say that everyone's going to do that, because we have free will. Some people just don't want to accept that they were hurt. Some people just don't want to accept that they were molested. Some people don't want to accept that they were touched. Some people don't want to accept that they were abused, or that they were raped, or that they were shown a lifestyle at a young age full of drugs and money and violence. Some people don't want to accept that maybe they did something when they were a child, or something happened to them. Some people don't and can't and won't accept. But for whoever can, give it to the Most High. Heal through it, cry through it, pray through it, go through it, right? Feel it, because that is what's blocking you in life. That is what's blocking your emotions. The Most High said it is the trauma. It is the traumatic experiences that you have been through, and it is the things that you have had to push in the back, in a sense. And it was not that the Most High was not with you, because the Most High was there for every tear you shed, for everything you went through, for all the trauma, whether your parents were there for you or not, whether you had supportive team or not, whether you had people that overstood and understood you emotionally or not, whether you had some of the things that other kids had or not. Guess who was there for you through all of that? The Most High. But there's something called the enemy, the devil, kill, steal, and destroy. And it was blocked out of heaven and pushed into what? Earth. That's why they say this is the devil's playground. So even as a child, the enemy will attach itself to others that will hurt you and cause trauma in your life. So if you want to be upset with anyone, you take it out on the enemy, the devil, right? Not the Most High. The Most High was always there with you. But the way you release it is you pray, you cry, you let it out, and you give it to the Most High. That is how you deal with your trauma. And it's not to say that it didn't happen. It's not to say to forget it. It's to say that you have to learn to release it. Because although these things happened to you and they were not right, there's enemies that do these things to people unbeknownst to you as a child. You were a child. You were not an adult. And that's what happens. Sometimes there are adults around you that don't take on the responsibility of loving you properly, that don't take on the responsibility of covering you properly, of protecting you properly. There are people that will be placed in your life that just don't do it. So all you can do is heal through that pain, heal through that trauma, and release it. Now you have free will. You can continue to hold on to it, but that is what is blocking you emotionally, the trauma. That is what is stopping you from being able to properly love, the trauma. That is what is stopping you from being able to have proper connections with good people, the trauma. And see, we don't like to think that we are still dealing with trauma because we think, oh, we're adults. Oh, we think that, oh, we're so past it. But are you really past it? Have you really healed? Can you speak about it and you not cringe? Can you speak about it and you not hurt? Can you speak about it and you not cry? Are you really past the trauma? So around this time, the Most High said, yes, there are some people that are going to be dealing with their trauma, and it's going to hurt. It's not going to feel good. And there's going to be some things that may remind you of something when you were a child. You may see certain things when you were a kid. You may hear from certain people. But it's to deal with these issues so that you can fully heal and become the best self version of yourself. In order to evolve and become your highest self, you have to deal with your trauma. It's life. We all have to deal with it. And it's not to say that it's fair, because it's not fair. None of us wish we had to go through some things that we went through. No. But you have to also remember that the enemy, that is what the tactics of it were, to steal your childhood, to steal your joy, to cause trauma. So all you can do is pray and take it to the Father. But for someone around this time, the Most High said, yes, that is what is diminishing you. And that is what is stopping your ability to feel. It is your trauma around this time. And all you can do is deal with it. Thus saith the Lord. Okay? So that is the message. And that is how the Most High gave it to me. So don't be surprised, like I said, if you start to remember things from when you were a kid. You start to remember family members. You know, these could be people that have even passed on. Ancestors. You start to remember kids when you were a child, when you grew up. However, whoever, you know, maybe you're just going to remember certain things, or you're going to see things. I'm also hearing patterns. Thank you, Spirit. So these could even be the patterns, right? Maybe there were things that you were doing to cope, right? Maybe there were some sort of patterns you had in your life to deal with the coping mechanisms of what took place, because that too is part of trauma. And what do people try to do when they hurt? They try to cope. They try to heal that trauma. Some heal it through sex, right? Let's be honest. We're adults. This is Therapy with Miss T. Some heal it through drugs, right? Let's be honest. This is Therapy with Miss T. We keep it real, raw, and uncut. Some heal it through, who knows, drinking, right? Some heal it through overeating. Some heal it through drama. Some heal it through talking about everyone else and not wanting to deal with one's problems. This is real life, guys, and these are some of the things that people do. But you don't have to continue to live that kind of life. You can release your trauma and give it to the Most High. So for someone around this time, just know that you may start to remember some things. They may be placed on you in spirit. And it's not to hurt you, but it's to help you to heal from your trauma, okay? And like I said, everyone is not going to do it, but you have free will, and the choice is ultimately yours. But if you have been hurt, give it to the Most High so you can live your life to the fullest, so you can be set free of your trauma, so you don't have to deal with the bondage anymore or the bond of the enemy, so that you don't have to deal with the tactics of the enemy anymore, so that the enemy can't hold this on you anymore, right? It may have happened to you, but you don't have to be a victim of your circumstances anymore. You can be set free. And that is what the Most High wants to do for you, set you free, even of your trauma. So that is the message, and that is how the Most High gave it to me. So yeah, guys, just know that there is someone that was dealing with some sort of trauma, and this is something that they did to suppress, in a sense, their feelings, right? Instead of dealing with it, they coped with it. And however you cope with your trauma is however you chose to cope with your trauma. And like I said, we are not to judge. This is a safe space. Judge and you too shall be judged. Some people cope through sex. They go to another partner because it makes them feel good momentarily, right? Sacred exchange of energy. You have to be careful of who you're even exchanging your energy with, because you can take on their traumas, right? There's people that cope through different ways, and that's just life. But you can release these traumas, and you don't have to let these trauma bonds and these bondages hold on to you anymore. Thus saith the Lord. So I don't know who this message is for. Pray on it, use your discernment, take it to the Most High. But for someone, the Most High came through and said trauma around this time. So like I said, it's not to hurt you, but it's to help you heal from the things that took place in your childhood that were not right, that they took place. And when you felt alone and felt like, well, where was God? God was right there with you the whole time. Not some of the time, not part of the time, the whole time. That's where the Most High was, right there with you. And that's why you're still here to this day, because the Most High is still right there with you. So that's the message, and that's how the Most High gave it to me, okay? So as always, guys, I pray you are blessed, safe, and well. I pray your family is blessed, safe, and well. And I thank you to each and one of you and all my new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I thank you all for rocking and rolling with me, Miss T, on another episode of Therapy with Miss T, where we keep it real, raw, and uncut. But as always, I am not a therapist. So if you need help, real talk, feel free to reach out to someone and get the help that it is that you need. There's nothing wrong with therapy, and there's nothing wrong with speaking to someone to get those things off your chest, right? That is why they are there. That is why therapists exist, right? But I am intuitive, and I pick up on energy and messages from the Most High. So that is what the message was. So yeah, guys, if you would like to book a intuitive message reading, it is on allthingsspiritual444.com. If you would like to purchase any spiritual products, it is allthingsspiritual444.com. I have the Negative Energy Be Gone spray, the candles, and the Negative Energy Be Gone wash. And yeah, guys, I just appreciate you all, and I just pray that you guys are working on yourselves, healing, and doing whatever it is necessary to evolve, okay? So until next time, and as always, guys, what we tell them, guys, we tell them, namaste.